Hello there. So I recently shot a wedding with one of these, a Kodak M35. Now you might be thinking, Rob Hun, are you okay? Because that is a terrible idea. But don't worry, I was shooting digital as well, and I was also shooting on my big boy Minolta film rig, which I've just realized that I've never made a proper video about this. It's like my end game film setup. I don't think I've ever made a proper video on it. So that is coming. Now you might be thinking, why even bother shooting with the Kodak M35 anyway in that case? And that is a very, very good question. Now, if you see my other videos about this camera, then you'll know that I basically called it a piece of shit. But this saucy little devil keeps luring me back in, like that handful of shredded cheese at 1 AM that I know I'm not supposed to eat. Each roll that I've put for this camera has produced a lot of terrible photos, but on every roll, there's been 1 or 2 photos that make me go, yeah, now that is a banger. And therefore, it keeps luring me back in on the hunt for those 1 or 2 photos that just capture that messy, dirty film look that we all know and love. And that is basically how I ended up here. I just wanted 1 or 2 bangers out of this roll, at this wedding, for this to justify the whole thing of shooting with this camera. But can this camera deliver in a super demanding setting like a wedding? Let's find out. First photo of the roll, coming in pretty strong here. Love that little light leak on the right hand side there. We're off to a good start here, I think. I also enjoy this in super bright sunlight. The camera does well. I really like this one. This is like an almost banger, isn't it? Because it's so underexposed, you have to pull so much back. It just gives it that disposable look, but it does look sick. This is fun. This is fun. I like that he's not even just playing the inflatable guitar. He is like dual wielding with that saxophone there as well. Very impressive technique there. Achievement unlocked for great wedding guest. Now this is nice. This is cool. I mean, this shows the downsides of shooting this camera quite clearly, but I still think it's a fun photo. I think this really benefits the strengths of pulling out a camera like this at an event because it's so unthreatening. It's such a non-threatening camera when you hold it up to take a photo of someone that I do genuinely think that it makes people more relaxed than if I'm holding up the big digital rig or the big film rig, you know? This photo of the table, of the food and stuff is very, very cool. I do think that this is what people want when, you know, when they put disposable cameras out on tables and stuff. This is the sort of stuff that like couples expect to get back. I think, like, you know, like these disposable looking photos, but they've been taken with a little bit of intention, and it's never that. It's just some guy's feet, or the lads will take it into the toilets, and then the roll is, that roll can never be shared. But I think this is like that whole real looking wedding photography that people want when they put disposable cameras out. And this was like a real cool wedding. Like, it was a really chill vibe, very DIY, the exact sort of wedding that you would expect to find people like me at. And I think this captures that vibe nicely. This is a banger, isn't it? This is a banger. What I find interesting about the M35 is that if you put it in an enclosed space where the flash has a lot to sort of bounce off, it does give it more of a chance. We'll get to my issue with the flash later on in this video, but in scenarios like this, I think this is a great photo. This is also super fun. Now, this photo, whilst I like it, it's fun. It does show the issues with using something like a Kodak M35, and that is that you have to be, I think it's like a meter away from the subject for them to be in focus, right? But then the flash isn't powerful enough to light someone up if they're a meter away. And thus, you see the problem. I think this photo is fun regardless. I still like it. Banger. Absolute banger. What a photo. I love it. I love that it's underexposed and a lot has had to be pulled back, and it gives it that really horrible expired film look. I love how candid it is. I love the laugh. I love what's going on. I think the subjects obviously make this photo, but this is a prime example of exactly what I wanted when I pulled out a Kodak M35 at a wedding. Like, this is what I wanted to capture. I'm finishing up here with another very strong photo. Now, looking at those photos, I am very stoked on a couple of them. A bunch of them are all right, and then there were some that were literally just blank frames. There was nothing there, and that very much sums up using a Kodak M35 for pretty much anything. It is that pure roll of the dice of whether there'll be anything there. But when there is something there, there is that chance that it could be that analog, gritty, horrible perfection that we all want from this camera. With that being said, will I use it again at a wedding? 100%, absolutely. I'd never rely on it, obviously, to be my only camera, but as like a third or fourth camera to have on you, I think it's good fun. I, again, want to reiterate, I do not recommend this as like your only film camera. Definitely not as your first film camera. If you want to learn about photography and you want to grow as a photographer, this really isn't where you should start. It's fun, but there's not really any room to grow. Like, if you're just going to go out on a night out and you want to take a camera with you, this could be fun. This could be fun. But with all of that being said, I am here once again using the Kodak M35 myself, and it keeps pulling me back in, because this is every roll that I've shot on this now has produced at least one photo where I've been like, oh yeah, that is sick. I did say in my first video about this camera that I was basically going to keep shooting it until it broke, mainly because I didn't think that it would last very long, and lo and behold, it did break the second time that I used it, but it's still operational. So it looks like we're going to keep on trucking. I am toying with the idea of taking this on a pretty expensive and dumb trip. Now, the idea is that I would book a film photography trip abroad and I would take this as my main camera. I did say that I absolutely did not think this would survive a proper sort of photography trip, you know, like any sort of real traveling or anything. And I guess there's only one way to really put that to the test. So I guess it looks like we're going on a trip. Now, if you want to see how horribly that goes, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Thank you for checking it out. Hope you enjoyed the photos. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're good. I hope the family are well. I hope your dog is well, most importantly. Give him a little scratch behind the ears from me. And hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Fit check, baby. Gnarly ET sweater from Universal Studios in Florida. Hey.